everybody. Welcome to another UPE Git tutorial. Today we're going to be talking about Git Stash. Git Stash is extremely useful when you're trying to save some changes that you're not necessarily ready to commit, but you still want to save them somewhere. So let me just show you what that's used for. I'm going to start off by just having this template Python file here. It just has some simple functions. All they're going to do is print the function name in a string. So it's just keeping it simple because we're mostly focused on Git today. So I'm going to start by creating a branch because I'm going to implement this function hello, but I'm going to create a branch for that hello function. So I'm going to call that branch hello, and then I'm going to switch to that branch. Okay, so now I'm in that branch. So I'm going to implement this hello function. So all it's going to do is just print hello. Okay. I'm going to save it. Now, you can see the difference. We implemented that hello. And now, so let's say I'm not necessarily ready to commit this to our local repository or push this to our remote repository. So what we can do is we can use Git Stash and save it in Git Stash. And then we have to add a message saying what that Git Stash is used for. So I'm going to say I worked on the hello function. Oh, misspelled that. All right. And then we press enter. All right, so it saved it. And now you can see that my file goes back to the original state that it was at. Because what it did was it stored that state where I changed the hello function and stored it locally, and then it reverted it back to its original state. So that's why it's so powerful. So now, if I go to git stash list, you can see that this git stash state is stored locally in Git. So I can always either commit it or revert it back to that state. So let's say I want to go back to where I implemented the hello function. So I can do git stash and then apply. And then this is the stash name right here. This is that stash state. So I just copy that and I'll paste that and then I'll apply it. Okay, so it applied it, but I mean, I didn't stage it for a commit, I didn't add it, but it applied it, and now I'm back to that state where I printed that, or implemented that hello function to print hello. So, now, if I go to git stash list, I still have this git stash original thing on there. So if I want to drop it, I can do git stash drop, and then it drops it for me. So now I do not have it anymore. And you can also add multiple git stashes onto this list, so you can have multiple states. So let's say I worked on this this by. Actually, let me just add. Let me re-add that hello right there. I'm going to re-add that to there, and then we're going to just implement the rest of the functions, and then just add a bunch of git stashes for each of those functions, and then we can go back and revert to or drop them if we want. So git stash save, and then worked. Okay, saved it. So git stash list. Okay, sure. So now you can see it reverted back again. Now let's say I want to implement my by function. Okay, let me save it. Git diff. All right, now it's got that by function, and then I could do git stash. Actually, let me clear everything because it's kind of annoying to look at. Okay, so git stash, save, and then worked on by function. Okay, so save that. And now you can see it reverted back to the file's original state. So git stash list. So we can see both of our stashes. So we have the so the stash list, it works kind of like a stack. So you pop things on top of the stack, and then the newest one that you popped onto there is going to be the first thing that's going to be on there. So right now at stash 0, we have that by stash that we did. So what you can do is you can do git stash pop, and then it pops the newest stash that you put on there. So now if I do git stash list, you can see that it popped this one off of there, applied it to our file, and now the newest one is that hello stash that we had. And then also if you wanted to just remove that hello stash, you could do git stash drop. That's if you wanted to do that. But that's how you mainly use git stash to just locally store changes, store states of your files that you aren't necessarily ready to commit and don't want to push to your remote repository or commit to your local repository. So it's powerful in that there's not really too many mistakes to be made versus when you commit to a branch or do things like that. And if you have any more questions, just leave them down in the comments below and visit our website. And thank you, and have a great day, guys.